I'm Sarah Townsend, professional and legal editor of Property Week. I'm joined here at the EcoBuild conference by Terry Leahy, former chief executive of Tesco. Terry, you spoke earlier on in your session about the need to promote a new sustainable form of consumption and try and actually sort of foster a new breed of consumer. What role do you think property has to play in this?
Well, I think property can play a very constructive role. If you look at carbon emissions, a big percentage comes from buildings, commercial and residential buildings. Now there are solutions to that in terms of new materials, new glass, new heating, lighting systems, a lot of natural solutions, ones that we'd forgotten. And so the property industry, property owners, by adopting those techniques, they provide capital for these new businesses to grow themselves and to be sustainable, and they also get the costs down. So this new technology becomes more reliable, more affordable, more ubiquitous.
Okay, slightly linked to that, you also mentioned how Tesco had reduced its energy bill by, I think you said £200 million a year across the whole portfolio. How much would you say real estate and sort of reductions made or efficiencies made across your real estate portfolio contributed to that? And how much was it, actually sort of changes in your supplier chain, that sort of thing?
Yeah, the vast majority of that, this is in the whole group around the world, comes from the stores. About 70% of the energy consumption in a supermarket chain is the stores themselves. So it's energy efficiency in those stores.
Can you elaborate on that at all? Just sort of what specific energy efficiency sort of devices, features you installed?
You've seen some of the examples, energy efficient lighting systems, much more efficient refrigeration systems, doors on fridges, doors on the outside of the stores themselves, a whole list of things, each of which have made an important contribution.
Now, last week we had M&S announcing that it was doing a whole new green lease initiative across its portfolio, or across a lot of its portfolio. What merit, what value do you think there is in this sort of thing in terms of getting the landlord and the occupier, the retailer, to work together to try and make efficiencies?
Well, it seems a very positive development, because sometimes that's an obstacle to change, where you've got split ownership, with the tenant paying some of the bills, having some responsibility, and the landlord paying others. So bringing them together so that you get a common approach to invest in the building, new technologies, make it more sustainable, but also actually to reduce the lifetime cost of the building is a very good thing.
Just one final question. What do you think is the landlord's role in all this? How much do you think can be left up to the landlord? Because from what you were saying earlier, it's very consumer driven. What retailers such as Tesco are doing is really trying to look at what their consumer wants. How much do you think it should be up to the landlord to try and implement these sort of energy efficiency strategies?
Well, I think it makes sense for the landlord. They obviously have got to respond to the economic challenges, to the internet. They want to make their properties attractive places to be, so they have to invest. And it makes sense to invest in green technologies because, in terms of long-run costs, they actually save you money.